We're on insight number 7. We're going to have a quick version and a more detailed version. So here's the quick version. I'll read the insight first. Do you accept and live their created fantasy, or choose to experience and live life as it really is? Fantasy or reality? Which one do you choose? So do you accept and live their created fantasy? A lot of the various sexual programs, when you watch them, the various sexual presentations, are made up. They're not real. It's an illusion. It's projecting a reality onto you, saying this is what's going on. Actually, that's not what's going on. Something else. So do you accept what they present to you? Do you accept anybody telling you anything? It could be TV, programs, newspapers, people telling you gossip or just news or whatever. Do you just take what they say and just start to live by it? When you see a sexual program and they're behaving sexually without telling you anything about it, but they're just going through the motions of, oh, this is so fantastic, oh, la la la, even not saying any words, just, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, as in that's what is being projected. That's what they're saying without saying it. Oh. Okay, so you can't just take what somebody says or presents on screen, live or on screen or wherever, or whether you read it, you hear about it, and just believe it. You have a great disadvantage, many of you, who haven't had a phenomenal sexual experience, and then when you're presented with this, them showing it to you, you don't know whether it's true or not, and so a lot of women notice it and they say, this is fake. And the guy doesn't know because he's a guy, he's not a woman. So, but there are many women who see this, they say, this is fake. Anyway, so do you accept? Do you just accept it? They're creating an illusion. It's fake, it's false, it's a lie. And then you are affected by, oh, this is so phenomenal. No, it's not. It's like somebody who's selling you some kind of medicine on television and saying, it's so tasty, cherry flavor. So, yeah, they're created fantasy. They're creating something fake for you. Or do you choose to experience life as it really is? Life meaning, I'm talking about a sexual experience that when you are in a good relationship, a very sincere relationship, and you want to experience sexuality. Oh, okay. Do you want to experience it genuinely? I'm in favor of course, being responsible, caring towards other individual. But if you get away from the ideas of the illusions that they're presenting to you, you spot them, identify it, you realize, hey, they're not being sincere with you. Then you're more relaxed about it. You go, oh, okay, so I don't have these expectations to have this and that happen. When it's a lie, they're lying. And because essentially people are being teased so much, teased based on an illusion. It's fake. They're being teased into having this, to have this experience. But the experience they're showing is fake. So what I say in the book is, and the explanation is, this is the more detailed version, is that if you take the time to take care of yourself, by taking care of your appearance and your mind, your emotions, put it in the right place, and you go out and you brush your teeth, you take care of your health, you take care of your nose hairs, cut them, and nails, cut them, and looking good, fresh and alive, and you go out and meet people, and through this you gain experience, and you really enjoy it. You learn about people. Don't worry about, oh, I'm going to go out on a date. Can I go out on a date with you? No, forget about that. Just go and mingle with people. Learn about people. Learn about relationships. Talk with people. Find a girl, find a boy. Talk to them. Hey, just relax and just talk about whatever. Whatever you want, especially about relationships. So you gain your understanding about relationships by talking to people about that. It's not a big thing. Now, yeah, so some people would say, in response to this question about do you accept their, do you want reality or fantasy, they will say, no, I want a real experience. I want a real experience of a sexual encounter. However, the idea that you have in your mind, many people have in the mind of a sexual encounter, is based on the lies that they have presented. So your concept of a sexual activity or a sexual interaction is the idea that they have presented to you through these various sexual programs. They have been dictated to you. Since they're false, whenever you do actually get into a sexual encounter, the sexual encounter does not match what they've been presented to you. In other words, reality of the sexual experience is not similar, is not the same way as what they've been presenting to you, and you're like, what's going on? Why doesn't it match? Two different experiences. Reality does not match the illusion. And you think, what's going on? A lot of people are puzzled about this. They get into a sexual experience, and the reality of the situation does not match the illusion that is presented. And they're just like dumbfounded. What's going on? I'm here experiencing a sexual encounter, and it doesn't match at all. It's not really enjoyable like what I've been seeing. What the heck's going on? They don't know what's going on. They're really puzzled. They don't realize that they're being lied to there. A lot of the people will think, oh, well, I must not be experiencing reality genuinely for whatever reason. So I don't realize what they've been told already is false. Okay. Now, we're talking about being fake and being real, about a sexual encounter. Now let's take that and examine that from another perspective. Let's say I want to offer you some fake food. I'm going to offer you some fake food. How about a fake hamburger? Would you like that? How about a tall fake drink? It's not even liquidy. It's just fake plastic. What is it? How about a fake friend? Would you like that? A fake friend. A fake friend. How about a fake car? Would you give it to you? It has no motor in it. There it is, a fake car. A fake anything. What's the point of it? Are you kidding me? That's the interaction with me you will have. You will say, what are you talking about? I don't want a fake hamburger, a fake fruit, or a fake juice, or a fake anything. Give me the real thing. How about a fake bank account? That's really useful. With a million fake dollars and pounds in it. How do you like that? Absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. Illusion is like a mirage, you know. It's not really there. It's fake. It's not real. It doesn't exist. So, why would anybody want a fake sexual interaction? An illusory, fake sexual interaction? No. You have to realize what we're really talking about. Now, this is a big thing. Since they have been projecting this fake reality onto you, and so convincingly with their phenomenal acting, that reality has established itself in your mind. That way of thinking, that reality of how they project and their version of sexuality or sexual behavior, sexual expression is established itself in your mind so that you can't have a objective experience. I should say, in most circumstances or in many circumstances, what you are often experiencing in a sexual experience, or even just thinking about it, is their version of it, not the reality of it. And so I'm making you aware that for you to be aware of that, and this is the big part of it. You will learn about this in steps. So right now, I'm mentioning in this insight that there is truth, there is falsehood, there is reality, there is illusion. Now, I'm mentioning that what you experience in a sexual experience, or even thinking about a sexual experience, is what you have been familiarized with, have been introduced with, which is their version of reality. Not the real reality, but their version. And so it seems real to the many persons, and they feel its effects. But it's the effects of other things, which will be explained a little bit later in the other insights. Very good. It's the effects are largely a series of mind tricks, in addition to societal prohibition and against sexual anything, even thoughts or how it's done or what it's about, and so therefore this creates a gap, which a craving, that's another thing, which feeds the craving, another craving is introduced, and so it's a lot of things that is feeding, creating a frenzy, and then feeding it by giving tidbits. Because if they gave the whole, then you would be, you would realize, hey, wait a minute, something's amiss, and exactly that's what happens when people experience the reality of it. It does not match. In fact, many couples who have been in a relationship for a while, or have been married, the excitement in the sex is no longer there. The craving, the certain naughtiness in the sex, the sense of wrong, and so because it's gone, and it has been associated with sex for such a long time, this idea of naughtiness or doing something wrong or strange and unusual, something forbidden, has been introduced with sex, has been going along with sexual activity for such a long time that people think mistakenly that sex includes that idea of naughtiness, that idea of, the negative aspect, of the forbidden, And so when it's not there anymore, the forbiddenness is not there, it's legalized, so you can have sex with your wife, you can have sexual interaction with your partner, whatever it is, then is no longer, the naughtiness is not there, and people are wondering, what's happened? I'm losing interest in my wife or interest in my partner or whatever. No, the, the illusion which they had created, which was partly based on naughtiness, that aspect of it is not there. This has never been part of sexuality. They've introduced this as part of it. And so we believe sexuality to include that. It's fake. Anyway, so this is a sexuality it's a sexual excitement, mental excitement, based on this partially based on this idea of naughtiness. But actually, in my understanding of connection with another being, it's a mental and emotional connection, a genuine understanding of the person to the depths that you get to experience and explore. And so you can express with your partner through love, in innumerable ways, through poetry, through song, through dance, arts and crafts, through infinite ways, creating buildings, going on adventures, and playing games with each other, as in good games, not head games. That could be part of it too. Anyway, yeah. So sexuality and sex becomes just another part of another way of expressing how you feel about the other partner, instead of just an act of passion, lust. If you have an experience in life, whatever you're experiencing, whatever that you're experiencing, on your own, you experience it according to your own ideas. I will explain what I mean. In other words, two different people will have a different experience based on their own ideas and belief systems, etc., of what's really happening, of that same one experience. So one experience, two different people will have two different experiences of that same one experience. An example of that is a person who believes there is no perfect guy out there for them. There is no sensitive guy. There is no true caring guy. That's their belief system, and they sit down with the guy who's really genuinely caring. She doesn't perceive him that way. If he displays any sort of caring or genuineness, she defines it as fake, as saying, "Oh, he's just acting." The same is true if a woman believes a man or woman believes there is actually a perfect guy or a perfect girl out there for them, a true, genuine, caring person. If they actually believe that to be true, that's their concept of reality. The moment they sit down with a person and the other person displays any hint of genuineness, their antennas go up there. They're like, wow, this could be, a genuine person, and they might have a tendency to see them in a princely way. Oh, he's such a prince, or she's such a fantastic, phenomenal person, when all they've done really is just shown a bit of genuineness, which we don't really know how deep that really goes, how deep and genuine they really are. So it's important to be aware, conscious, alive in this very moment, and to be objective, to be very real with yourself about what you're experiencing. If they've displayed this much amount of decency, genuineness, say to yourself, hey, this is what I've seen. I have not seen this big, genuine person. No, I've only seen this much, to be honest with yourself. A person, friends, or relationships, all these things have to be tested in actual life through a test, or in actual life circumstances where things are falling apart, and then you see how they really react. sample example of that is that when I became homeless, I saw how my supposed family and friends treated me. How would they think of me? Turns out I didn't have friends, true friends, or true family. For most of the people were not true. Starting to ring. So, in regards to reality, what is real and what is not real, we were talking about friends. So, you see, friends, you don't know how deeply or genuinely they think of you, how they think of you. It's really meaningless until something occurs which is dramatic, or you need their help, and you're in a bad situation, and see how they help you, how they come out and show their what you really mean to them. So same with love is the same way, and anyway, so we want something real. Now, you know those bear traps? They're like two jaws, metallic made, two jaws, put inside the middle. They put it on the floor, and they put a meat or some kind of bait in the middle, and once the animal comes, the jaws clamp on the animal, the feet or whatever. It's a horrific thing, but I'm going to use it as an example. Also, I'm going to use the example of baiting a fish. Now, in order for the animal to be trapped in this trap, he needs to be baited. Animals just don't go around roaming around baits. It could happen, but what is normally done is a bait is put there, something that would entice the animal. Says, "Oh, this is delicious for you to try." Visually and smelling wise or otherwise, something fresh, something smelly, something whatever, to capture the animal's attention, to grab it, to something enjoyable and delicious to eat and munch on. The bait is very important in order for an animal to be enticed, brought into the area of the trap. Now, in various sexual programs, they have baits also. They have laid out a very nice bait. The bait is a mixture of fantasy and reality, a mixture. Sometimes it's wholly, entirely fantasy. Sometimes it's mixture. Usually it's a mixture of fantasy and reality mixed together. This fantasy or illusion in the sexual programs, in various sexual programs, not all programs, but various, many of them, various, I say various, sexual programs, this is the bait. Oh, what's that? Once your mind is busy and engaged with that fantasy bait, the trap is sprung and you're trapped. Now, the fantasy or illusion, which is the bait, can resemble closely to reality, can be a mixture. In either case, it's quite enticing. In case of the worm, where there's a worm on a hook for catching the fish, the worm is real. Although there's a lot of baits that are not real and that resemble the real reality, or resemble something, wow, so awesome to eat by the fish, but it's actually inedible. Now, if it's a real worm wrapped around the hook and the worm are together. When the fish goes for the worm, it inevitably catches the hook with it, because the hook and the fish are tied together. So when the fish goes for the worm, the hook comes along with it and it's now hooked. Same with the bear trap. When you go to the bear trap, the meat is in the middle of the bear trap, in the middle, and so therefore when it's in close proximity, actually it's in the center of the bear trap, with the jaws, clamping metallic jaws. And when the animal approaches, if they spring it, depending on the sensitivity of the spring, the jaws enclose and capture the animal. Now, of course, there are some animals who don't spring the trap. The trap could be old, but there are some traps that are so interwoven, that is the bait and the hook or the trap itself. It's so interwoven that you can't really. There is no springing mechanism there. It's just, if you take the bait, you've taken the trap also. As an example is a drink or a solution or a food that is laced with poison. Now, it is so interwoven, like in a drink, that it's molecularly mixed in there, like sugar in a drink. The same thing. It's all over, And so if you take the drink, you're taking the poison as well. Now, if you look at the jaws which trap are opposing elements. Clamping, now something stuck together. Even the jaws themselves, there's another triangular shaped, like teeth, triangular shape, are another opposing element to dig into deep. Cut and to trap. These are opposing elements. This is why they hold on to something physical. The same thing is true with the mind. The mind is grabbed onto. The mind is actually grabbing onto the. It's the case of the mind grabbing onto the opposing elements presented. So essentially what I'm saying is to leave yourself open to experiencing sexuality, from a real perspective, from an aware perspective, rather than following a pre-formatted programming.